What's up, y'all? And welcome back to Dad Needs to Talk. I'm your host, Robert, and today, I just want to chill. I just want to rock. I just want to vibe. Um, it's been a minute. It's been a little minute, at least by my standards, since I've done one of these. But, we're going to kind of talk, kind of catch all up to a bit of what I've been into and doing and places I've gone in the last, I guess, like month and a half or so, roughly, since I've done like a normal podcast episode. But before I get to that, as always, if this is your first time here, then welcome. But if you're a returning listener and or watcher, then welcome back. Y'all know here at Dad Needs to Talk, it's all about fatherhood and family, manga, anime, and some video games. So, like I said, it has been a minute. I I had attempted to record something a few weeks ago, which involved me kind of venting a lot, maybe a slight rant. I don't know, but OBS and my laptop conspired against me and decided, like, you know what, Robert, maybe that's too much for the internet to hear right now. So we're just gonna only save 30 minutes of an hour and a half that you did of talking. So that happening was very defeating. So I just let it go and I just kind of just walked away. Because, I had already been gone for a little while at that point. And then when that happened, it was just like, yeah, let me just continue just being a normal civilian. So I hope everybody out there that is listening has been doing well. I hope life is treating you good. I hope y'all have been treating yourselves to some nice treats. I hope y'all have been living life to the best that you can and pushing forward as we are in freaking March of 2023. What the heck? We're in March. What happened to time? So I don't even know where to start with everything. It's just like so many different routes and stuff. I guess kind of like speaking in general, and of course I'm not gonna dive too deep into this, whatever. But like several weeks back now, just between how busy my life and stuff has been, and then there was some stuff that happened online, not involving me, just stuff going on online on Twitter and stuff, whatever, that kind of gave me, I feel like maybe like some anxiety about some stuff, and it kind of maybe like put into perspective a couple of things. One of which being maybe I am too plugged in to the internet and stuff, whatever. Doing too much scrolling on Twitter and different things. Because I feel like at the end of the day, of course, it is good to be informed on obviously things going on in the world, things that are going on with these different mediums and stuff that we consume, whether it be, TV shows, manga, anime, gaming, whatever stuff, sports, whatever. But sometimes it can be too much, too overwhelming. And then it's kind of like you get to a point where it's like, okay, am I doing this because I want to do this, or am I making this choice because millions of people, or maybe thousands, hundreds, sometimes it's a loud minority, but because I am just seeing and hearing people saying, hey, you should not be doing this, or yes, do that. And so it kind of just made me just like take a step back and think like, man, hold on. This is Dad Needs to Talk. I am here to talk about the things that I am enjoying, or just things I just want to just talk about in general. And so I was like, if I am not doing that, then am I really being myself? Am I really being authentic and true to the reasoning of me starting this? And so I just kind of made the decision of like, okay, I'm just gonna just stay away from social media for a bit, or at least like lessen. I have in the last like couple of weeks started back, interacting and stuff, whatever. But I'm definitely not on there, specifically Twitter, as much as I was on a normal day-to-day basis. So I've kind of fallen out of the loop on certain um, news feeds and like new releases of manga and different stuff, whatever, or updates on stuff that's coming, and that's fine. Because I've kind of, like I said, just kind of like thinking back of like, man, it was kind of nice even before I was doing all this stuff of just watching what I want to watch, reading what I want to read, playing what I want to play, because I want to do it, not to make a review or content or whatever. It's just, nah, hey, I feel like doing this, whatever, I'm going to do it, and cool. uh, so yeah, so that's just kind of like a little bit more context to some people that might be like, man, I haven't even seen you on, I haven't even seen Rob on Twitter and stuff lately, whatever, and that is why. Like I said, just too much stuff, too much noise, in the on the timeline and stuff, whatever. So I had to kind of take a step back, and it has definitely been for the better. Now, other stuff. So, the sports stuff has been the biggest thing, probably. On top of us, y'all know, probably the last time I did like a normal episode, I had mentioned that we were dealing with the car situation of, just for a little bit of recap, day after Christmas at the end of last year, somebody hit my wife's car when she was heading home or whatever. And then we were kind of down a car for literally 50 days. I counted 50 days. We didn't have a car. They wouldn't get us a rental, nothing, whatever. But finally, a few weeks ago, whatever, we finally got a rental and stuff, whatever. So we kind of like to get back into some type of like normalcy, because that was tough. Because with us being down to one car, it led to my wife having to Uber into taking the Ubers and stuff to work, and then I had to do majority of the stuff with the kids, to where it was like, okay, I had to go into work a little bit later because I had to get everybody to school, and then certain days I had to still leave kind of early to go pick up people that need to get picked up, taking people to practices and da 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 da. So yeah, it was just a lot. Yeah, my days and stuff or whatever was just very tiring. Even though I wasn't like seemingly not doing too much on paper, but even just being in a car for those long stretches and just bouncing back and forth, of like, okay, get up, get the kids to school, drive 40, maybe 40 plus minutes to work, do work, come home, or head back. If I, depending on the day or whatever, maybe I gotta take my wife to work. If not, then okay, I'm going maybe picking somebody up from something after school, going getting Vash from his after school care thing or whatever with my wife, then shooting somebody out 20 minutes to practice, then coming back to get my wife from work, then going back to pick them up after practice, and whatever other stuff is going on in between all that. So it was a lot. So was very happy to finally get a car, and we got one just in time because, surprise, we went to Memphis. My oldest boy, we had a basketball tournament in Memphis. So it was very cool. My first time going out that way. So I got to kind of do a little bit of adventuring and stuff, whatever. We had some very good food along the way. Shout out to this place in Arkansas called, I believe it's called like Fat Boys or something like that or whatever. Man, that food was so good. So good. Like some barbecue and just some real good southern kind of cooking or whatever. Because my wife had ordered, they had like this menu. It was like I can't remember what it was called, but basically it was kind of like a not a pork chop exactly, but kind of like a pork chop, whatever. And so it was like, do you want like a one serving or two? Well, us never being there, whatever, she ordered, oh, give me the two or whatever, because she thinking, they're going to be kind of like small pieces. Man, them freaking pieces was like two of this. just like long, thick. Because when they brought the plate out, I was like, is that what you ordered? And so, man, we was honestly, I was snacking on that for like a couple of days. And then mine, I had like a chopped brisket sandwich or whatever. Man, they put so much meat that, and it was just so good and tender that like my bun was falling apart. All the meat couldn't even fit on the bun. So it was like even after I ate the burger or whatever, there was still like a lot of meat. Honestly, enough meat to maybe make a second burger, but to kind of just eat on the side. So that was really good. Then I came across a very interesting snack. Which speaking of snacks, we came across some and this is before we went to Memphis, whatever. Uh, Strawberry cream Dr Pepper, and that has been a hit in the household between me and my wife. Um, because I saw somebody on Twitter talk about it or whatever. I was like, oh yeah, it's at Kroger. There's a Kroger literally around the corner from me. So I immediately went there after I saw that post on Twitter and got a case. My wife destroyed it because I only got to drink like a couple out of the 12 case. And so she went and got another one. And then we ended up running through that one too. So that was good. So strawberry cream, Dr. Pepper. And then found this little gem that I honestly was not sure about. Now, I don't know how many of y'all eat Bugle chips. I am a big fan of like the classic nacho cheese flavor or whatever. Well, I found this. This was in Arkansas. Bugle's Cinnamon Toast Crunch edition. I was like, I don't know. This can go one of two ways. This can either be horrible, horrendous, or it can be surprisingly good. Luckily for me, it was surprisingly good. So shout out to freaking Cinnamon Toast Crunch Bugles. But yeah, so we went to Memphis. Memphis, that whole situation was just kind of weird overall. Everything from the hotel to the parking to some of the stuff at the sporting complex, whatever. Is downtown Memphis. It was all weird. So hotel room. The whole team stayed at the same hotel for the most part. But small thing, but a big one when you're dealing with a big group of people who all have kids or whatever, is that there was no public microwave that we know of anywhere in the hotel. There was definitely no microwave in the room, no microwave down in like the kind of like lounge kitchen area or whatever. So it just kind of sucks. So it was like, okay, so we had some food that we ate, and if we brought leftovers back from eating or whatever, it just had to sit in the fridge, or just sit out and we maybe finish it before it got too cold. But otherwise, it just sat in the fridge, and some stuff we had to just wait until we could bring it back home to heat it up. So that sucked. Then the parking. So the parking garage literally is right across the street, whatever. So which is cool, multi-story, whatever. But the elevator didn't work. So the first night, so we get there at like 9 o'clock at night because we ended up. It's a whole ordeal. So we got there super late or whatever. So I go find out. Okay, we're using this garage. Okay, cool. Go park. And so. But of course, like I said, it's 9 o'clock at night, so of course all the spots are filled, whatever. So I had to go up to the 6th floor of the garage. So I'm like, okay, cool. Make note of where I parked at or whatever. Messed around. I paid because when you get to like walking area, like where the garage is or whatever, or the elevators, I mean, it has like a note like, hey, scan this QR code so you can pay. Da 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 da. I didn't know at the time that. Because we were at the hotel, or the hotel has like special nightly rates or whatever. So I was just going off of originally what I saw on the website or whatever for the parking garage. Because we got there at 9 o'clock, they only had increments of like single hours up to 8, and then it's 24 hours after that. Well, 8 hours from 9 o'clock at night or whatever, that's like 5 a.m. Clearly, I'm not going to be leaving at 5 a.m. So I had to pay the 24 hours, which was like $30-something, $36, something, whatever, crazy. Then found out later, it was like, oh no, it's freaking $20 a night or whatever. So I'm like, great. But so I paid that or whatever, and then there's signs like, sorry for your inconvenience. All three elevators are out. So the whole weekend, and we were there from Friday to Monday. So 3 days, going on fourth. So 3.5 days. Every time we left or came back or whatever, up at no less than 4 flights of stairs. It was horrible. But luckily, like I said, luckily, at least even though I had to do that or whatever, I was able to just pull the car around to the front, and we can load up luggage or get out luggage or whatever, bags or whatever, drop everybody off at the door, and then I go park and walk myself. Um, so yeah, so that was a parking situation or whatever. And yeah, so overall, so for the tournament or whatever, they ended up, I think, getting maybe like third or fourth place out. I can't remember, because they ended up going 2 for 2. Because that the first day, those first 2 games were kind of weird. They just wasn't, the kids wasn't like vibing and meshing like they normally was or whatever. So, overall, we got to see a lot of really good teams, a lot of interesting teams from all over. Primarily, I like from like the East Coast, because there's some teams from, of course, from Tennessee, New York, Idaho, Florida, and places like that and stuff. So it's kind of dope to see just even more variety of talent and stuff from these different places. Um, there was a 14-year-old who was taller than me, and I'm about 6'2", so this kid was literally about like 6'4", 6'5". Um, and stuff. So which was crazy to see. I saw a kid with a true blue mullet. I think maybe on one of the Tennessee teams or somewhere, I don't know, some country team, whatever. So that was kind of funny. But yeah, so we went down there, did that or whatever. And we drove, by the way, or whatever. So went there, then came back. But like I said, the tournament went into Monday. So luckily that Monday was a holiday or whatever. But it's like, we came back, and then it was like, okay, Tuesday, everybody going back to school, work, just chaos. And so, yeah, and then like the week before that, the middle school basketball season ended. I think my son's team, I think they ended up finishing maybe third in the district, I think, whatever. And then my daughter's team, I think they finished second or third, something like that or whatever. So overall, pretty solid for their first years playing for the school and stuff. And so now we have transitioned to track season has started, which was this week was insane. So kids had their first track meet this week, and stuff. So which went fantastically. For the kids or whatever, they all dominated. So all three of my older ones are doing track. So both my girls and then my son went from basketball. Him and a lot of his teammates, they went over to track, and stuff. So he's doing the 200 meter, and then he also did the, I think both the 1 and 200 relay races or whatever. My daughter that does basketball, she did also the 200 meter race and relay. And then my daughter that's been running track all these years, she did the 2400, which is a mile and a half, and then the 1600, which is a mile, and she got first in both of those. My daughter, her and her teams got first in both of those. My son, he got first. The relay team for the boys got first, and I think in his individual race, I think he got second or third. I can't remember. He has some stuff to learn about stuff with track because he started slowing down before he actually crossed the line, and it's like, no, you don't slow down until you're already through the line or whatever. So because he was kind of like neck and neck with somebody, and he started letting up too early and stuff, whatever. So, but it is what it is. Like I said, this is his first time like really like doing it competitively, whatever. So, but yeah, my daughter that does the distance runner, she did her thing though. Like I said, she got first place. She is 10 seconds behind setting the school record, which she is going to blow away easily because her personal best that she's done, before she gets to middle school, whatever, was already better than the school's record. So it's just a matter of time. If she doesn't do it next week, probably before this season's over, my daughter will have the school record for the mile time, whatever. So, cause yeah, she was talking to me and my wife about it earlier today, whatever, because they finally got the ribbons today and they got their times and stuff. And so yeah, when she found out that she was 10 seconds from the school record, but then my wife was like, wait, but what is your personal best? And my daughter said it, and my wife was like, oh yeah, that's already under, the school's record or whatever. So I'll be looking forward to seeing that, having her name etched in the school record books when she achieves that in the coming weeks and stuff. So, but yeah, so track season's good. My son's AAU basketball still rolling. He's playing in Houston this weekend, and then we're going to Oklahoma City next week. So just on the road. My daughter, her new kind of AAU basketball team is starting up. They're gonna have their first game this weekend. So yeah, so me talking about all these sports and stuff. So let me just kind of give y'all a glimpse of my schedule on Tuesday and Wednesday of this week that I'm recording this, which is the last of February, beginning of March week. So on Tuesday, I get up about 5:30, 5:45. Get ready. I head to work, whatever. I get to work before 7. Do my thing at work. Let me think. This is Tuesday, so okay. So this was track day. So I get off of work. Actually, no. So I had to do a delivery to one of the other field techs, whatever, out over this way. So I got off of work, went and did that, and then went and got Vash from after school care thing that he's at with my wife because she's over there at the school. And then we go to the track meet, and we get to the track meet at 4 o'clock. And the meet runs from 4 to 8 p.m. So lesson learned, probably not going to be taking Vash. She'll just stay home on track days or whatever because not only was that 4 hours, but the temperature started dropping and stuff, whatever. We was all out there in t-shirt and shorts because it was like 80 degrees earlier in the day, whatever. So that was Tuesday, whatever. Like I said, not too crazy, whatever, but still like a 5 a.m. till, like I said, track day ended till after 8 p.m. and then still having to get everybody home and da. So Wednesday, same thing. Get up super early, get to work before 7, do my thing at work again, get off. And so I'm trying to think, oh Lord. So Wednesday, let me see. Okay, so Wednesday, got off of work. Both my daughters had something after school, so I went and picked them up from after school. Then went and got Vash from his after school thing. Then came home. Then had to go pick up my son because he had a track after school practice. I had to go get him from that. Then come back home. Then he had a basketball game. He was supposed to have practice with his summit team, but because of how the timing worked out with the game he had later on, and then him having that after school practice or whatever, I'm like, okay, something had to be sacrificed, so we had to skip the shooting practice thing. Then he had a game with the team that he started on when he was 7 years old. Which I've talked about before, whatever, but I'll say again, I love this team. Shout out to Coach K, Coach Kendrell, because he got a lot of these boys when they were like 6, 7, 8 years old or whatever, and the core group of them raised them up. They played together for several years or whatever. Cause like I said, we're 7, 8 years away now, whatever. And they don't really play together very often, but every time they come together, some random person who doesn't know the situation of the team or whatever, you would think that this is a team that practices and plays together all like every week, regularly or whatever. But it's like, no, this is just a team that gets summoned like the Avengers. They come together, no beats lost or whatever. We got there like a little bit right before the game about to start or whatever, and they're able to just walk on the court or put their stuff down or whatever, walk on the court, jump ball, business as usual, whatever. Like no time missed, whatever. Because like I said, this is the same team that didn't play together for like 2 years, almost because of the pandemic and stuff or whatever, COVID, and they came back together and they played a whole season and went undefeated with no practices. Literally no practices. It was just like, hey, all right, this day on the weekend or whatever is when we have our games. Be there. Everybody meets up. Crush the other team. No competition. See you next week. So I love, like I said, just how ingrained those lessons and stuff, that chemistry that core group of kids have, because there have been other kids and stuff that's been added to the team since then, but that core group that, like I said, started when my son was 7, don't miss a beat or whatever. So but yeah, so we had that game, they won it or whatever, and so then my wife got there maybe like around halftime or so or whatever with my daughter, the basketball daughter. And so then we switched, and then she took him home after the game, and I took my daughter. She had a late night practice from 8 to 9. So yeah, and then did practice, whatever. Got home a little bit before 10, and then went to bed, and then did work again today or whatever. And now, got my wife and son. They got on the road to Houston and stuff, whatever. So yeah. And like I said, that's just a couple of days this week, whatever. That is kind of like the normal cadence of for anybody that might be curious of like okay, like Robert, what is kind of like your daily schedule, whatever. It is kind of a mix of that of like I said, getting up super early to go to work so that I can get off early enough to be able to handle the after school stuff, because my wife works during that time frame. She works from like 1, 2-ish to like 6, and that's kind of when kids need to be picked up or taken to like the earlier practices or games or whatever. So yeah, it's a lot of time, a lot of commitment and stuff, whatever. And like I said, that is mainly the older 3 that are doing sports, whatever. It's like my middle son, he's not doing much right now, and then Vash, he's not doing it because he's just not old enough yet, but he's 5, so by the end of this year, whatever, he's gonna be 6, so he might be out there doing something, whatever, too. So, but yeah, so that's kind of been my life in a nutshell, more or less. Like I said, we kind of got stuff back rolling with the car stuff, whatever. Other life stuff kind of finally started falling back into place, whatever. So I am still doing at least like maybe once, if not twice a week, my plasma donations and stuff, whatever, which has been, now I'm happy to be doing them because I want to do them, not out of necessity for survival of like, man, I need these few extra bucks just for us to make it. And it's like, no, life and stuff and work has kind of been good to us lately, whatever. We kind of got back heads above water or whatever. So it's like, okay, I can still donate plasma if I want to, and that just be just extra money I can use for other stuff, whatever, as need be. Which, shout out to the young lady at the plasma center, because the last week I have asked me about my podcast shirt, and she actually asked me about it or whatever. So I was like, well, if you're curious, I gave her the spiel, and she said she would check it out. So if you are listening to it or whatever, then hey, shout out to you. You know who you are. But yeah, so that's kind of what's been going on life-wise with me this last month and a half or so. It's like just little traveling on the road, lots of practices and stuff, whatever, always on the go. Um, but finally getting back to a place where I can be stable and in comfort and mentally in peace financially, I guess is the best way to put it, whatever. So, and I've been able to finally to treat myself to a few things, whatever. Shoot, what was one of the main things? I can't remember now. Oh, derp. I'm looking at it. So, so I got this really nice. I believe it's a 34-inch Dell curved monitor back in January. There's a place in the mall out here, Northeast Mall, that has a lot of products that some of them might be used or whatever, or just stuff that may be new but maybe got the boxes got damaged or whatever, so they can't sell it for a price or whatever. Well, I got this lovely 34-inch curved monitor for under $300. So, and they originally when they came out, they were well over $1,000 when they came out. So, but they still might run 500 plus. But so I got this nice screen that I'm on now, whatever. I treated myself to some new shoes, some lovely black and white Pumas that I love. And what else? This this Black Panther purple and black beanie cap, because this is something I saw back when the movie was out or whatever, and Hot Topic had a little section up for it or whatever, but I didn't. I was denying myself to buy it or whatever, but it all worked out because that was the last one they had in the store, and it was marked down on sale already, and then they took an additional percentage off, and I had a little $5 birthday coupon because it was my birthday month in January, so I got it for $7. So I'm like, hey, I'll take it. But yes, I've been doing that, and of course, and I've gotten really, really, really deep back into some gaming, which I'm gonna touch on in a little bit or whatever, because that has been a very pleasant surprise. I have kind of gotten back into listening a gaming podcast I listen to, whatever, called Sacred Symbols. It's a PlayStation podcast. And the host is somebody that I've followed for probably well over a decade through his other endeavors and stuff, whatever. And so it's kind of been cool getting refamiliarized with his work and catching up on stuff that he's done over the last few years since I've gotten to listen to his stuff, whatever. So that's been really dope. Listen to that along with a lot of the gaming stuff, which let's go and dive into a little bit or whatever. So in this time, whatever, Sony has had a PlayStation Direct, Nintendo's had a Nintendo Direct, Xbox has had an Xbox Showcase thing, whatever. So this is gonna be kind of like a brief kind of news-ish / talking about what I've been playing section or whatever. So and as always, I'm gonna have timestamps for some of the stuff, whatever, but it might be a little bit weird depending on how I'm talking about this stuff. So first off, I'm gonna start with Xbox. So with their developer direct, sorry, I'm getting freaking tongue tied. They show off a lot of the games that they're either have coming out or whatever, which I'll just kind of mention some of the dates real quick before I get to the game I actually played. So, Minecraft Legends is coming out on April 18th. Redfall is coming out on May 2nd. Forza, the new Forza game, just has a general 2023 date, and then the new Elder Scrolls Online expansion is coming out June 20th. Now, the highlight of the show, which was a shadow drop, is a little game called Hi-Fi Rush, that has been so cool and so dope that it was just really unexpected surprise, because this game is made by the same team who does the Evil Within series. And so it's this very colorful, very vibrant looking game. And honestly, For those of y'all watching the video version of the episode or of the podcast, whatever, like everybody in my house, like my wife or kids that walk by, whatever, they was like, "Oh, what show are you watching?" It's like, no, this is a game. People in my house legit thought that I was watching a show, but it's like, no, this is a freaking video game. And so the cool thing about it is that it's basically kind of like a action rhythm game is the best way I can kind of describe it or whatever, to where everything in the game, everything in the world is on a beat, on a rhythm, and you will see like enemies or just stuff in the environment just bouncing, just grooving or whatever, and you kind of like are fighting to the music. And so what I love about like with the combat and stuff whatever is that it's pretty straightforward. You can just kind of like button mash through a lot of stuff whatever and still make damage, but you get or you will get bonus damage on stuff if you hit an enemy on the beat of the music and stuff whatever. And so it's just like this really nice little rhythm and flow to it or whatever. A game a lot of people are comparing it to is kind of like, at least like visually and the vibe, is a Sunset Overdrive, which came out on originally like that, on like the launch of the Xbox One back in the day. But yeah, so Hi-Fi Rush was a very nice surprise. I haven't beaten it yet, but I got pretty deep into it. I think I'm close to the end, cause I think I'm like on chapter 10 of 12 chapters. So, but Hi-Fi Rush, it has a lot of personality and stuff, whatever. Really good music and stuff. So definitely check it out. It's on Xbox Game Pass. And I think PC Game Pass as well, but I know for sure Xbox. So if you have an Xbox and you have Game Pass, this is a fun game to play. So, let me see. So next up, so the PlayStation Showcase or whatever, they didn't really show nothing that was of too much consequence to me or whatever. Like they showed a new trailer for, because Destiny 2 Lightfall just came out, or the new expansion. I'm thinking about diving back into Destiny, even if it's just to dip my toe in, because man, I came across, there was like a developer diary thing or whatever on Twitter the other day, where it was like an 8-minute long thing where they was like talking about the music for the new expansion or whatever, and just like hearing the music or whatever. And that is something that now I never really got to play too much of Bungie's original series or previous series that they developed, of course, which is Halo. But one thing that I know about Halo, and of course with Destiny, is that they're both known for like really solid and fun gameplay, but also the music. And back when I was heavy into Destiny, every time a new expansion came out and it downloaded or whatever, and I'm pretty sure a lot of us did, I just let the game just sit on the title screen, just hearing the new theme music. It's just always so good. And so hearing some of the music that they have for Lightfall, I was like, man, I'm probably not going to ever get like super deep into it or whatever, but I am fortunate enough right now to have a little bit of like some disposable pocket change or whatever. So I'm like, you know what, maybe I'll treat myself to freaking expansion or whatever, just to get like a little bit of just back into that world or whatever, because I haven't played none of the expansions in like a good year, maybe two, I don't know, because I missed all of, I think the last one was called like the Witch Queen or whatever, missed all of that or whatever, and so it is what it is. But this new one, this Lightfall, is looking really, really nice, and stuff. So because I love all like the vibrant, the neon look and stuff or whatever of the game, just looks really cool. So but yeah, so Destiny 2 Lightfall, let me see, they show like a 15-minute gameplay thing for the new Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. I don't know, there's parts of it that look like, okay, I'm seeing some hints of the Arkham stuff in there, whatever. But then some parts of it, I'm like, I don't know. They're kind of like, at least like for this trailer, whatever, they lean too heavily on like the co-op and the shooting and whatever. But like the traversal stuff look really dope, whatever. Especially like Captain Boomerang, so like he's like throwing his boomerang and using that to teleport around and stuff, whatever. But anywho, so I don't know. I might still give it a shot when it comes out. But yeah, I'm just trying to think. I think they showed off some more new characters for Street Fighter 6. Some other stuff got some dates or whatever, but yeah, nothing really too much on here that I'm excited about to really even talk about or whatever. So I will say shout out to the PlayStation VR 2 headset came out. I probably won't be getting one anytime soon or whatever because that sucker is more expensive than the PS5 itself. And I also don't really have like a good setup here or whatever to really accommodate for that anyway. So it is what it is. But one game I do kind of want to shout out though, that speaking of PlayStation or whatever, it's this game called Season: A Letter to the Future. Now I might have talked about this game before, but this game is kind of like takes place in kind of like in a world where the season or basically kind of like the era is about to end, and so you're kind of going on this journey across the world, documenting everything from the sights and sounds. So you have this like very awesome camera where you can take pictures of stuff, whatever, and you have this kind of like a tape recorder where you can record sounds and audio and stuff, whatever. And it's just like a really peaceful but kind of like melancholy filled game because you kind of know that just the subject matter of like, okay, I'm documenting the world, so to speak. Clearly, something sad is probably going to happen at the end of this game, because the framing for the game is that somebody in the future is reading your journal, which I enjoy the journal too, whatever. From because I've played maybe like a few hours of the game so far, and I know it's not super long either, but I've only played like a couple hours of it or whatever. But like all this stuff that you're documenting or whatever, you can put into this kind of like journal, scrapbook kind of thing, whatever, and you can paste pictures or you can put the pictures in there, resize them however, different little stickers and stuff, whatever, audio recordings, all this stuff, whatever. And so somebody, which the title Season: A Letter to the Future makes sense because somebody from the future is going through and recounting all the stuff that you've documented in this book. So so that's a really cool one. Like I said, that's on PlayStation 4, 5, and I think PC as well, if I remember correctly. So yeah, so that one has been a really cool one. So Nintendo, they kind of came out with a little bit of a banger with that director a couple weeks back, and they also there was also a Pokemon anniversary one the other day too, or whatever, because it was the 27th anniversary of the Pokemon series or whatever. And they announced like a new like Netflix show, and they announced the new expansions for Scarlet and Violet, which I still have not played, and I was looking at or whatever on the eShop, but we got a lot of dates for some stuff. Like the Pikmin 4 is coming out in July. They showed a new Breath of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom trailer. Splatoon DLC. They added Game Boy and Game Boy Advance stuff to the Nintendo Online service. So the Game Boy stuff is there on the base subscription, the $20 a year subscription, and then on the higher tier, the expansion one, that's where the Game Boy Advance stuff is. And I'm like, I don't know, I'm tempted because I saw they're gonna have a lot of my favorite handheld Zelda games like the Minish Cap. I love that game so much. Just like shrinking down, being Link shrunk down, and finding this kind of like other world hidden within like literal bookshelves and different stuff, whatever. And they also are going to be bringing the Oracle games from Game Boy, the Oracle of Seasons and Oracle of Ages. So I would love to revisit those because I haven't played any of those since I was a kid. What else did they show there? This was a big one for me. So Disney Illusion Island. So this game is basically kind of like a Mickey Mouse version of Rayman Legends, which Disney Illusion Island. And this is going to be coming out in the summer. Now, if I can get it to play. So like looking at the gameplay, whatever, I was like, yeah, this is the art style. This is based off of kind of there's like a Mickey Mouse show, whatever, with this style already that Vash loves to watch. And y'all know me and Vash love playing Rayman Legends. So as soon as I saw this, whatever, and it's up to 4-player local and online co-op, I was like, oh yeah, of course, me and my boy, we're gonna be rolling through with Mickey and the crew. But yeah, the game just looks so fun and just so with just so much personality and stuff, whatever. So I'm very excited to play that. Like I said, this comes out July 28th. So still got a ways to go before it comes out. But that was definitely a highlight of the Nintendo Direct for me. All right, let's see what else was a highlight of this thing. Of course, they announced and shadow dropped a remaster of Metroid Prime 1. Now, I've never gotten too deep into the Metroid games, and I've definitely never played any of the Metroid Prime games, but just wanted to mention that for all you listeners that might be interested in that series or whatever, to know that long rumored remaster finally came out, at least for 1. So that's out now on the Switch. Okay, so there was this one game called Harmony Take Control of Your Destiny. If I remember correctly, I think that's the one by the original creators of Life is Strange. So I'm excited to check out that one because I love Life is Strange and they do really good storytelling. So I'm excited for that. The Advance Wars 1+2 re-release or remaster, I should say, whatever, is coming out in April. Got a date for April. What else? So the other one. So one thing that's been big lately, whatever, seemingly, is demos. So a lot of games have gotten some demos lately, whatever. So Octopath Traveler 2 has a demo out, I think, across all platforms: PC, PlayStation, and Xbox, Switch. There's this little game. Well, I say little, but I believe the studio that did this is the same studio that did a game a few years back called The Messenger. Now, this game is definitely kind of in like the style of kind of like a Chrono Trigger style game. And so now I'm not too big on like classic like RPG games, whatever, but Chrono Trigger was a big exception to that rule. Because I played the re-release of that on the Nintendo DS back in like 2008, whenever that was. So seeing this game, whatever, like just like it's like I said, like from the look and how the combat and everything looks and the world just looks beautiful, I was like, yeah, this is definitely gonna be my type of game. So there's a demo for this out on the Switch for sure, and maybe PC, I don't know. But it's going to be coming out, I think, across most. I know for sure it's going to be coming out on the game itself is coming out in August, but I'm not 100% for sure on what all platforms. Let me see, what are the demo? There's a demo for a new game called, I think it's Wolong Dynasty. It's kind of like a Souls-like game that just came out this week. That demo for that is out. Shoot, there was another big demo. Yakuza Like a Dragon Ishin. That's got a demo out now. And yeah, so so far it's been like a lot of like really dope games that have come out in this first part of the year so far, or like I said, even just demos to try out and stuff. I know a lot of people have been enjoying Dead Space Remake came out, and other stuff. And of course, I have to touch on a big one that I've been playing that has taken up a lot of my time, and that is Hogwarts Legacy. So I got Hogwarts Legacy for my PS5, because as your boy does, when I'm interested in something, whatever, I'm gonna take a look at it, but I'm also gonna be trying to be financially responsible about it. So I had like a bunch of old games and different stuff, whatever. Maybe I think I even had like an extra Xbox One just laying around. Traded that stuff in or whatever. Towards that, so got that. Plus had some money left over or whatever. Um, but so Hogwarts Legacy, man. So I'm not even that big of a fan of Harry Potter. Now I will say I watched all the movies growing up as they released or whatever, and I enjoy them fairly well. But I wouldn't say that I'm like a hardcore, fan where I read the books and I know all the different lore and da 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 da. But even still, and shout out to the homie Polo from Mike Check Waifu Podcast, cause he had got the like the early version of it or whatever before it hit regular retail or whatever, back when it came out. And so I was watching him streaming it on Twitch, and he was just having so much fun playing it or whatever. And at least looking like Polo plays a little bit like me, where he's going around exploring, checking all the nooks and crannies of everything or whatever. But man, getting a chance to play it myself, this game is very dense and finely detailed. And I appreciate the work that the developers put into the game and stuff, because you can tell that they put a lot of care and love into bringing this world to life. Because like the freaking Hogwarts Castle from the series is literally what I imagine to scale of what they've shown in the movies and what is maybe described in the books and stuff, whatever, to where literally you can fully explore the whole castle, all floors vertically, everything, because you can literally go into every single room and interact with pretty much a lot of stuff within the game, whatever. Because so when the game first starts, well, not necessarily when it first starts, because which I will say, story wise, for me, they got my attention immediately, whatever, because Ish popped off out the gate, and I was not expecting that or whatever, and it was like, okay, hey, we ain't here to play. There's gonna be some deaths potentially, whatever, and some action or whatever, and so yeah, so and it's just really fun combat and stuff. But let me back up a bit or whatever. So when you first started at Hogwarts Castle, you're in your dorm room or whatever, and so you get a mission to go out, to the common area or whatever. But I'm like, hey, I'm an explorer. So I went up a couple levels or whatever, or down, whatever, the opposite direction of where I needed to go. So I went down, went a couple levels, and every floor I can go into everybody else's dorm room or whatever, and check out stuff, whatever. Some of the rooms have like chests or different stuff in it or whatever. Go into the bathrooms, go into every stall. You can flush every toilet. You can turn on multiple of the sinks. It was just insane just seeing that. There's hidden rooms everywhere, which of course this is a world of magic, so that stuff makes sense. But it's one thing seeing this stuff in movies and reading about it in books or just hearing about it in passing, but actually getting to walk around and explore that world. And like I said, that, because honestly they could have just made a game just in the castle itself, would have been enough for a multi double digit hour game. But the fact that it's like, no, that is just a portion of this decent sized world that is, like I said, it's just houses and towns and stuff all over the place that you can go in, caves to explore, underwater caverns. It's a lot. And just the fluidity of, like, once you get your broom, to where, of course, there's certain times like when you're inside where you're in the castle or in certain places where you can't fly, but just the fact, like, when you're just out in the world, you can just, within 2 button presses, just L1, because I'm playing PS5, so L1, circle, boom, broom summons, and I can just freely go anywhere I want to on the map. It is just super dope and stuff, whatever, man. So like I said, it is wild, and in a way, like, despite all the controversies and stuff surrounding the game, whatever, I do, like I said, still have to give my hats off to the developers, Warner Brothers, and then the studio that did it, Avalanche Studios, cause like I said, like, despite the Herculean task presented and set before them of, like, hey, you got to bring the series to life in a way amongst all this craziness going on or whatever. And I would say they passed with flying colors in my book. And like I said, and I'm not even like that big of a fan of the series, but it's like, man, y'all really showed out and showed what y'all can really do with this game and with this world, and stuff. So, and like I said, with the combat, it is super fun. Just getting to throw out all the different spells and everything, and like I said, just like getting to learn more about the world and how it all maneuvers and stuff, whatever. Everything is just like so natural because it's like, okay, if you think about something, whatever, if you have a plan or you're stuck somewhere, whatever, and you're like, I wonder if I do such and such, would that work? 9 times out of 10, it's going to work, and that is such a satisfying feeling when you're like dealing with a puzzle or something, and you're like, man, I wonder if I use fire on this thing, or if I use light to eliminate this, or if I do this and that or whatever. Yeah, it is just so good at doing this stuff. Oh, and of course, big shout out to that studio for the character customization, cause man, like the outfits, and I love how they have that they give you the ability to, if you find a piece of gear that you visually like, but of course as you're playing through the game, you're gonna level up, you're gonna upgrade, you're gonna get more, stronger gear, whatever. But if you still want to keep the same visual look, then you can still equip newer, higher level equipment or whatever to get your stats where you want to get it. But visually, then you can put whatever visual look you still want to have for each category. So it's like you have like your clothes, you have your jacket or cloak, you have a scarf, glasses, a hat or whatever, and gloves. So it is just so dope. But yeah, those watching the video version, this is the character that I had maybe like 10 or so hours in, I think, because I'm level 20 here, and I'm like 24 hours into the game now, and I'm level 27 or 28. I can't remember. I just leveled up again a while ago before I started recording. But yeah, and the variety of hairstyles for all colors, especially for the black people. Hey, they did it. Which I want to give a shout out to Blessing from Kinda Funny, because he actually just did a video on this. If you go to Kinda Funny Games YouTube channel, or just search for The Blessing Show, he did this awesome video where he kind of talked about black hair in video games. And so, yeah, here it is. Black hair in video games. And so it was a fantastic, very in-depth, well-researched, well-edited and put together video that he did. And so I highly encourage everybody to go check that out. That was very dope to see. And yeah, so I think that's pretty much it as far as like the games that I've played. Like I said, Hogwarts Legacy is taking up the bulk of my time. Like I said, the fact that I've gotten to play over 20 hours of something within a month is freaking wild. And last thing I want to say about the game, like I said, just kind of like, happy for the developers, whatever, is like the game, I believe, currently has the all-time record on Twitch for like most concurrent watches on a single player game, and they've already sold 12 million copies of the game as well. And keep in mind, that is only on next gen and PC, so that's just PC, PS5, and then the Xbox Series systems. That doesn't count in April when it comes to PS4 and Xbox One, and then in the summer when it comes to the Nintendo Switch. Yo, that is freaking insane. Because even another one that just had a big milestone is Elden Ring. Right before it hit its 1 year anniversary this week, it crossed 20 million sales, but that's for a whole year, which of course is still freaking fantastic, especially for a From Software Souls-like game. To sell 20 million copies is freaking ridiculous and super dope. But it's like I said, it's also just crazy that like Hogwarts Legacy has already hit 12 million and it hasn't even been out for a full month yet. So that is freaking wild. But yeah. So on to the next thing. Trying to think of what other stuff I want to touch on really quickly, whatever. So let's talk about a few things that I've been watching. So of course, I have still been watching and enjoying The Last of Us, which I guess, speaking of gaming stuff, whatever, I ended up buying the Last of Us remake because originally, I wasn't, obviously I wasn't, because the remake came out in September of last year, and so I was like, I don't really need it, whatever. But my wife and my oldest son both wanted to play it again, because my wife also wants to finally play Last of Us 2, because she's never played Last of Us 2. And so they started playing the remaster version. And so I was thinking, I was like, you know what? Because this is my wife's third playthrough of The Last of Us since we've met. So, so I was kind of looking at stuff, whatever, and I was like, you know what? If she's gonna run through it again or whatever, then I want to, give her a even better experience, whatever. So I bought the remake, whatever, and so she's been playing through that, been really enjoying it again. And of course, me, my wife, and my oldest son, we've also all been watching the Last of Us TV show, which continues to be super good when it comes out every Sunday and stuff. But I'm trying to think, because going back a few episodes, I'm trying to think, because I don't think I haven't talked about anything since the premiere. So overall, in general, I'll say I've really been enjoying the show. I really liked how they changed stuff with the Sam and Henry section, where they kind of like introduced kind of like this like new resistance faction or whatever, and they went to a different city versus how they did in the game. And so that part was dope. And was handled really well, because even though I knew what was coming with the Sam and Henry situation, it still got me. It still hit me in my heart and my soul when that moment happened. So yeah, so shout out to them. Shout out to the young man who played Sam, because he was actually deaf. And I love how they incorporated the ASL stuff into the show, and then seeing the behind the scenes stuff of how the cast and crew, a lot of the cast and crew learned ASL so they can communicate with him and stuff, whatever. And everybody kind of feel included and stuff. So that was super dope. What else? So the episode where they reunite with Tommy was cool. And of course, now currently we're dealing with Joel being hurt, as we're leading up to a very big moment in the next episode, which I'm not going to spoil, but this is also one of like the big pivotal moments in the game. But yeah, and it's just wild to think about that. Like, man, we only have 2 episodes left of this show, so I have a feeling it's going to be, these last 2 are going to have to be some extra long heat in order to try to squeeze in these last couple bits, whatever. So but yeah, and also enjoy the Left Behind flashback episode and stuff as well. So that was really cool, really well done. What else TV show wise? Mandalorian season 3 that started back today, whatever. I watched the first episode, was solid, but I'm also not the biggest Star Wars fan, like I mentioned when I watched Andor, but I do still enjoy watching the shows and stuff, whatever. But aside from that, today I got to catch up on like 4 episodes of Abbott Elementary, because I knew, of course, I had been behind between just life stuff happening, whatever, and then the show is kind of having like a funky schedule here and there where they missed a week, a couple weeks, whatever. So I ended up unintentionally letting it build, and man, that was a fantastic binge watch, and honestly, what I needed. Because that show, like I've talked about before, it is just filled with just so much love and care, because you get the comedy, just like everything from the stuff with the staff, the teachers, to the students, and combinations of everything in between. But then at the center of it all, it always comes back to like really important life lessons and stuff that you can kind of take from these episodes of like what's going on and what happened and what people learn from their situations and stuff, whatever. And they're like, hey, it's okay to be afraid. It's okay for this and that or whatever. So, but it's Abbott Elementary, super dope. Still super loving it. I think that's it with like regular TV shows, whatever. Anime stuff, whatever. This has been kind of all over the place because honestly, I've fallen off of a lot of shows and just keeping up with everything like I was. The few things that I'm 100% caught up on, no matter what, is Angel Next Door, surprisingly Blue Lock, Kinda and the Great Snow Sea, Campfire Cooking, I love that show. And those are kind of like my main ones that I'm like 100% on top of or whatever. But I've unfortunately even fallen behind on Trigon. I think I'm like 2 or 3 episodes behind now. Which I guess in a way I was kind of thinking about like waiting anyways and maybe switching over to the dub just because the homie Johnny Young Bosch is back voicing Vash, and so I was like, you know what, maybe I want to just go and support that or whatever. So, but we'll see. I don't know 100% for sure yet, but we'll see how I'll handle that. But so far this season continues to be really good, just overwhelming, and then just like knowing that next season there's even more stuff coming or whatever. So, but we'll get to it when we get to it. I'm trying to think. So I think that's it for anime stuff and manga. So a lot of stuff that I've read as far as like individual manga volumes or it's like big chapters or whatever, I've still been doing individual reviews and stuff for that stuff, whatever. So go check those out. But and as y'all see, so everything here on this second shelf, which let me see if I can. So some of this stuff is stuff that I've already read and reviewed, but all of this stack here, and I don't know if y'all can see, but behind this, where my jacket is or whatever, there is another stack here. So that's all new stuff that I've gotten recently or whatever. Like I said, majority of this is stuff that I had bought over like the end of last year or whatever, that I just never did a haul for. So hopefully sometime soon I'll try to do a manga haul for this stuff that I got, and then dive into reading some stuff because I finally started picking up some more continuations of some stuff that I enjoyed. So I'm like, okay, it's time for me to go back and like start revisiting some stuff that I've already been enjoying and stuff, whatever. So, but other manga stuff, whatever. So, Ichinose, Family Daily Sins continues to be intriguing. Like I mentioned before, had a really strong start. Those like chapters like 4 to 7 or 8 or whatever, kind of. But everything since then, since we kind of had like this reset moment again or whatever, has been really good. So I'm looking forward to seeing where things go with that still. I caught back up on Sakamoto days, and Sakamoto said, "I am him. I want all the smoke." Because there was a moment at the end of the most recent chapter, or whatever, where somebody was like, because it was like a flashback when Sakamoto was younger, and the guy was like, "All right, which of y'all is stronger?" And then the other guy pointed to Sakamoto, was like him, and Sakamoto himself was like me. So I love that or whatever. But Sakamoto days, just y'all know, dope panels and stuff, whatever, super cool. So looking forward to continuing to read that or whatever. I'm trying to think of what else. Oh, of course, and this might be the last thing because man, y'all watching the videos, y'all see my eyes starting to fade in and out, or I'm about to freaking fall asleep on this freaking recording. But last thing I want to just touch on or whatever, and then anything else we'll get to next time, whatever. But how can I not talk about One Piece? So One Piece, man, has been super dope. Since we freaking got into this stuff post what's it called or since we've been in Egghead or whatever, man, it's been super good. We got freaking one of the five elders has left the castle. He's on the move. So this most recent chapter. This most recent chapter, we had a moment where we get to see Shanks move. Shanks might about to do something next chapter or whatever, but it was just so cool the way they set up us seeing this kid at the bar with the bartender lady or whatever being like, hey, take me out to sea with you, whatever, just speaking in general, whatever, reflecting the beginning of One Piece proper, where Luffy's saying that to Makina, or saying that in front of Makina or whatever, as Shanks overhears, and we find out that he's talking to Shanks, asking to join him on his journey and to go whatever, and we see Shanks and the whole crew, and where are they at? They are in Elbaf, the land of giants, and they get noticed that, hey, the kid is there, about to try to stir some ish up or whatever, and we set up for a big epic clash, and we also get to reunite with Dory and Brogy, the giants and stuff, whatever. So, man, that stuff was just super dope, super cool to see. We freaking see Luffy and Zoro somewhat kind of team up with Rob Lucci and Kaku to take on the Seraphims for Kuma and Mihawk. Super dope, man. That stuff was just super cool. Yeah, man. Yeah, One Piece is good. One Piece is great. We finally see Dr. Vegapunk again with all the missing CP0 agents. I'm trying to think, because since the last time I recorded or whatever, we also had found out that Stussy is a triple agent or whatever, and that the Stussy we know, she is a clone of Miss Bucking, who is Weevil's mom, and she also used to be part of the Rocks Pirates back in the day. And so we get to see Weevil again protect Whitebeard's Island while Marco was gone to Wano. But then we find out that Weevil got into a scrap with Green Bull and got captured. And so that whole situation happened. And I'm trying to think what else, man. It was a lot of craziness going on or whatever. So, but all in all, One Piece is good. One Piece is dope. And I look forward to seeing. I hope we actually get to see Shanks or somebody from Shanks' crew in actual combat. Something. Oda, give us something, please. But I think that might do it for this one, y'all. Like that, cause I took some NyQuil a couple hours ago. And it's about to knock me out, man. This gonna be this podcast is about to end with me in snooze mode. But yeah, like I said, this has been good to finally get to come back and record something. Now, I will say, I don't know when the next time I'm gonna do one of these. It is what it is. It's just like I said, with us still having to do some traveling coming up for basketball, and then just average day-to-day life stuff, man. It is a lot. It is a lot. But we are fortunate enough to be, like I say, at least kind of like back on our feet in a way that we weren't last time I had this conversation with y'all and stuff. So, but I'll just say, y'all do good out there. Y'all continue to be encouraged and push forward. And I'm going to continue to play some freaking video games because I got this little gem. So quick little last little story. So I ended up getting another Nintendo Switch because I might have mentioned a while back that my original Switch, and now this is my Nintendo Switch that I got, my launch Switch that I got on day when it came out back in 2017. So my Switch is a few months older than Vash. But something happened, probably Vash, speaking of which, to where the screen doesn't work when it's outside of the dock anymore, and so it has to be in the dock to work or whatever, which kind of sucks. It was like, okay, cool, we can still kind of use it, but it's like the appeal of the Switch is being able to move it around. So once again, y'all know I talk about your boy going out finding deals and stuff, whatever. Well, I I have found over the years lots of really cool stuff for good deals at my local pawn shops or whatever, and I found they had in really good condition this Animal Crossing edition of the Nintendo Switch. I got it for $160. So yeah, can't beat that. Because originally I was gonna get a DS Lite, just from the store, regular store, whatever. Because those are like 200 or whatever, which is $100 cheaper than the Switch, was just 300 or whatever, or 350 for the OLED. But I was at the pawn shop or whatever, and so I think it was originally a little bit higher, but she took some money off because they didn't come with the dock, which is fine by me because we have two docks in the house. So I was like, okay, cool, perfect. So I'll take it. So I got it or whatever, got my stuff set back on or whatever. So I'm very happy to have another fully functioning Nintendo Switch. But I found a couple of games that I want to check out. So one of them is a game called Jenny LeClue, which is kind of like this like detective little game or whatever that came out, I believe, a couple of years ago, whatever. Because I remember back when it was like, I think like getting Kickstarted or something, whatever, and the creator was trying to get it, on platforms and stuff, whatever. But I just never got around to it or whatever. Well, I think it was on sale for like, I think like $2 or something freaking ridiculous. So I'm like, I can't pass it up, whatever. So I ended up buying it or whatever. I haven't played it yet, but I bought it. And then there was this other game that I just found out about a few hours ago called Meg's Monster. Um, and it's that one. And so when I looked at the cover art, at first I was like, nothing really grabbing my attention or whatever. But something was like, hey, just play the trailer or whatever. Just play the trailer just for amusement or whatever. And I'm glad I did, because man, the music alone in the trailer sold me on that game. It had like some real I don't even know how to describe the music from that trailer. But so yeah, the music, and I'm gonna see if I can play like just like a tiny bit of the music, hopefully. I don't know if y'all can hear that or not. Hopefully y'all can. But I heard that. I was like, yo, what is this game? And so it looks like it's about. Let me see. So the synopsis is, you're the most invincible creature in the land, but if she cries, the whole world dies. Guide Roy and Meg on an epic journey spanning the monster world as you try to find the lost girl's mother. Man, so hearing that music, and then I kind of picked up that a little bit from the the trailer or whatever before I even read that synopsis just now, whatever. But I was like, this is probably gonna be like a nice little what's it called, emotional journey, whatever. So I ended up buying it, just straight off rip. Just ended up buying it because it's only $15. And it's on the Nintendo Switch, which is where I bought it, but it's also on the Xbox and PC. And no, it's not on Game Pass or whatever, but like I said, it's freaking $15. I was like, why not? I'll give this a shot. So hopefully, maybe next time I record this, whatever, I have something more to say about that or whatever. So, but yeah, so I need to get out of here because it just crossed midnight. So, and I try to stick to my rules, even though it's been a while since I've recorded. And hopefully y'all get to see and hear this, whatever. Assuming this freaking OBS doesn't crash on me again. But I'm gonna wrap it up there. Thank y'all so much for watching and or listening. As always, y'all can find me everywhere at Dad Needs to Talk. And I'm getting close to hitting 300 subscribers on YouTube. So if you're not subscribed already, hey, go subscribe. Help me reach this next milestone. But aside from that, y'all already know I'll probably have more manga reviews coming in the future. Maybe I might even dip my toe into trying some gaming reviews because I've been playing a lot of games and I'm kind of close to finishing a couple of them. So maybe I might try doing maybe some actual like individual like game talk reviews or something. I don't know. That's something I've kind of been playing around with in my mind. We'll see how that may or may not go, but we'll see. But be on the lookout for that stuff. And yeah, just always just do your best to take care of yourself. Make sure y'all treat yourself to something new and good. Man, I forgot to mention earlier, I had watched freaking the Ant-Man movie. I don't have too much in depth to say about it or whatever, but aside from super dope, it was a fun movie. I took me and my oldest son, we went and watched it together. Um, Love Jonathan Majors in it. He's gonna kill it as Kang. So looking forward to seeing more stuff with that. Hopefully in the coming weeks. Because unfortunately, because of the basketball stuff, my wife is out of town for the basketball stuff for my son, oldest boy. Um, Me and her plan to go watch Creed 3 at some point because over the years that we've been dating and or married, we've always gone and watched all of the Creed movies together. And so it's like, oh, perfect. A new Creed movie is coming. And so looking forward to watching that. Um, John Wick 4 is at the end of March. The Demon Slayer new season premiere is hitting theaters this weekend. Maybe I can sneak out and go watch that. Um, and lots of other stuff. I don't need to go through the whole rigmarole of everything that's coming out or whatever. But just know there's plenty out there for us to watch, read, eat, and play. But I need to go. Thank y'all so much for watching and listening. And as I always say, treat yourself to something nice. Read some manga, watch some anime and TV, play some video games, and live your best life. And with that, your boy is out. This is Danny's a Talk. Thank y'all so much for all the love and support. And I'll see y'all when I see y'all. Take care. Peace.